Uh, well, it got cold again. And I'm not necessarily complaining, except for the fact that half the reason I went back to no, can't give you a slap sound of it from the single, was because it was warming up. And today it was like 50 degrees. And very windy. Like, to the point where my room was warmer than the rest of the house. That doesn't happen anymore because window unit that is permanently set on 65 year round. And it was colder in the den. For some reason, I don't know why we've got like a little heater insert in the fireplace, and I don't know why they weren't running it. Anyway, I'm sleepy tonight. I went longer than I intended to. I tried to get back into Dragon Quarter this morning, and honestly, I spent more time inverting the camera than I did actually attempting to get through the level at all. God, I want so bad to finish that game, but I don't want to have to play it. It's like Skyward Sword before the remake was announced. I'd love to replay Skyward Sword, but only if I don't have to play it. Specifically talking about the motion controls. Just, like, I'm getting carpal tunnel, and like, more often than not it worked, but when it didn't, it really fucking didn't. Like, if I never have to fly that bird again with tilt controls, my life will be complete. And hey, looks like I won't have to. I am kind of genuinely excited to play that in like an upscale resolution with, I don't know if it's just because I played it on the Wii U and, like, not the original hardware, but no matter how I played it through component or HDMI, there was this weird blur to it. Just like, and it wasn't like I'd get scan lines sometimes with other games. That was easy enough to fix by swapping whatever output it was on. And like, maybe it's just that maybe 420 just looks that bad these days. I don't know. But like, it was just it's kind of like someone had smeared a thin layer of Vaseline on my TV screen. Wasn't obstructive, but it was definitely, that's off. But I genuinely am looking to play it crisper. I think it was at least in widescreen. I'm pretty sure it was at least in widescreen. The Wii wasn't that out of touch. Pretty sure it wasn't anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that should be fun. Cause like, I did so badly want to do some extra stuff in that game. Like, I wanted to get the Hylian shield. I wanted to experience the town a little more. But I was so sick of playing the game. I was just so sick of having to play the game. And I almost quit on the very final boss, because as much as that game liked to explain every little detail, it kind of refuses to help me with that one fight. I'm just like, the one time that I'd be okay with you sticking your nose in and going, Link, it looks like you're getting your shit kicked in. I have a tip. So to be entirely fair, I was being an idiot. I was ignoring one of the like main uh, gimmicks of swordplay, just because I hardly used it. It was like it's like one of the main things that I guess it's not a spoiler. But it's just like I just kept forgetting to use Skyward Strike. Like, duh. That's one of like the first unique things you learn. And yeah, you don't use it all the time. And for the most part, bosses are about making precision strikes. But like without spoiling, the boss even does its own version of that multiple times. And even then, not once did it occur to me to do it myself. Because I'm a dumbass sometimes. But yeah, it'll even playing it a little bit motion with the Joy Cons will be a more fun experience than on the Wii because as I've grown rounder, my slouch has grown wider, and while while the connecting cord between the Wiimote and the nunchuck was mostly generous and fine for the majority of things. When you started kind of getting the full swings around, I kept feeling like I was going to break something. This isn't just a general knocking of motion controls. In fact, the Wii trilogy version of Metroid Prime is kind of my favorite way to play the game. Now, if there's ever an update with like true twin stick controls, then I'll probably get over the whole um, the Wii version, but only if there's still lock on. Like I feel like that's a key component, and then like literally just what the Wii version was, but right stick instead of point. Like that's it. That's all it needs. Um, and like there's enough buttons on controllers these days that you've got two sets of shoulder buttons on both sides, so not just two shoulder buttons on a nunchuck without a reachable D-pad. So there's plenty of ways to make that work, I think. Because if you haven't played the Wii version, as is, like when it comes to swapping beams, you held down for beams and visors, you held down either plus or minus, and then pointed and clicked. And you could probably quickly do that or something similar with a shoulder button or like up on the D-pad and then point with the right stick. Yeah, you got plenty of buttons to work with now. So, oh god, I'm tired. Anyway, so I tried to get back into Dragon Quarter and it just wasn't clicking for me. So I've been letting Mario and Rabbids re-download since rewatching Vinny play through it, and it caught me a bit. Not all the way, probably because I've been watching Vinny do Wind Waker randomized, and so I just ditched Mario and Rabbids to do that. I also tried to do a little bit of Darkest Dungeon today, and that's something I might do a little bit of every day, kind of like I was going to do Hades for a while before I just binged it. um, But yeah, I started up a Wind Waker randomized run, and man, it's just fun to play Wind Waker. Like, even doing the tedious parts of, like, because like my favorite thing to do is basically, so you start, for those unfamiliar, default you start with just sword and shield, um the Swift Sail, which is modded into base Wind Waker from the Wii U version. And if you're not familiar with the Swift Sail, basically your boat moves much faster, faster than even the Wii U Swift Sail, I think. And more importantly, the wind is always at your back. You do not have to stop and set the wind anymore. You just turn, and the wind is always behind you. You can still set the wind, of course, when you need to, but you know. Anyway, you also start with the Wind Waker. You start with 3 songs: the Wind one, the Warp one, and the Day Night one. And that's it. And honestly, in most of these runs, it's been okay. Now I just need to find bombs. And like one of my favorite things to do, especially, well, it was tedious in the past, but this time using the tracker to keep up with things, because basically what I was doing is when you generate the seed, you get 2 versions of a spoiler log. One that just has all of the locations where progression items can be based on what you checked off, but not telling you what's in the chests, just these are the chests that important things could be in. And, you know, the other one's the actual spoiler log. So, in the past, I was having to scroll through all of that, and, you know, find a specific thing, and it was all in Notepad and delete the line, where a tracker is just so much more convenient. Not only is it quicker, but I get a general idea of it, of the location and everything. It's fantastic. So yeah, just like a lot of today was jumping around from, you know, lookout tower to lookout tower for looking for free chests, and, you know, ones that are already spawned, or ones that would spawn when I just beat enemies. Sorry, I thought it was paused. I forgot in this video that he wanders off to get something to drink for like a minute and a half. Yep, there he is. Trying to think what my first big item was. It took forever and a day to find the fucking grappling hook. God, where did I finally find the grappling hook? It was somewhere ridiculous. I think it was in one of the caves that you find a Triforce chart in. I think my first big item was Hookshot. Like, literally the second thing I found was the bigger bomb bag, but those don't count as progression. So basically, the way it treats it is, you know, sword is progressive sword, so whatever the next sword is. Or like shield is progressive shield. You're not going to find the mirror shield before you find the regular shield if you decide to start without it. And you're not going to find the fully powered Master Sword before you find the other 2 versions of it. So just progressive sword is in several chests, and whichever one you find, just upgrade your sword once. This also goes for the bow, going from just bow to fire and ice arrows to light arrows. Um, but it does not account for expansions on your quiver and your bomb bag. So I found both an expanded quiver and um, an expanded bomb bag before I actually found the base items. You can also end up finding a lot of like spoils and of course and like key letters and stuff before you even get access to the bags you need to use them. Um, like I didn't get bombs super late. Like I wasn't getting desperate for them when I found them. No, this run the grappling hook was a big holdout. Like I want to say I even found no, one of my first things was the Deku Leaf. That was like one of the first things. And then I think shortly after that was the bow. Anyway, where I am now, I just need one more sword upgrade, light arrows, and the last Triforce piece because I have found literally all of the shards but one. And I found several of those shards before I got like a normal progression item. Ugh, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'm sorry, guys. I keep just drifting, and I'm like literally going to fall asleep. So, oh god, I'll catch you on some